Welcome back, everybody. In the beautiful nature sanctuary right now, and it's just so nice. It's in Marshfield if you're ever around here, the Daniel Webster one. But month 3, welcome. So month 3 is all about letting go of limits and the patterns in our negative emotions and thoughts that we repeatedly tell ourselves, right? Even though we don't realize that we're doing it's just like a pattern that replays in our mind, because like we talked about before, our whole subconscious that represents 95%, 90 to 90% of our belief systems, our patterns, our conditions and thoughts make up all of the patterning in our day-to-day life now. So even though we have the conscious mind saying the affirmations and the mantras and doing the workouts and doing the things that we think are on track, we still have to get into the subconscious to really make the impactful and profound changes. And that's where the meditation comes in. That's where doing the affirmations while in that nice state. We talked about the brain waves. We go to alpha, beta, beta, alpha, theta. We're going through the alpha to theta brain waves, get that like relaxed state, and that's when the rewiring can truly come in. So our thoughts and emotions don't just affect our emotional body, they affect our physical body and our nervous system. So if we have negative patterning, if we have negative thoughts, if we are living a life feeling the lower vibration emotions, that's going to play out into the rest of our lives. Like our thoughts create our reality truly. So if we are saying one thing but truly believing a different inside, it's not going to balance out. So you can be like, oh, I am wonderful, I am amazing, I believe in myself. But if you don't truly feel that and your patterns inside the subconscious don't reflect that, you're still going to be vibrating at that lower frequency, and then as a result, your outer world is going to vibrate at that lower frequency. So negative thoughts just decrease our immune activity. We get more sickness, pain, disease, cancers, chronic pain, inflammation of the body when we have negative thought patterns. And obviously positive thought patterns, positive emotions enhance our immune system. So I don't know if I've already told you this before. I think I have, but it was like the physical pain. I had chronic pain all over my body not all over my body, but my back, my knees, my wrists. So kind of, I guess, for a solid 5 years. And it wasn't until I started changing the thought patterns, changing and unpackaging that inner child work, is when the pain all went away. It just shows how powerful thought is to the body. So our habits and beliefs are buried deep within the subconscious mind, that 95% that we don't have access to in the conscious state. And during life, we frequently return back to those old patterns. It's just how we were wired to do from the ages 0 to 7. We picked up all the belief systems, all the patterns, everything from our parents, external environment, all of that stuff. And it's who we are today still. Which is crazy, right? You're like, wait, I am such a different human 30 years later, 40 years later, 50 years later, 18 years later, wherever you are at. But the subconscious mind is so powerful. And that's what I really want to really break into today, like getting and tapping into that subconscious mind to start rewiring those patterns. So our thoughts impact our feeling body, which eventually impact our physical body. So mind, emotions impact the physical over time. So if we have those negative thinking, a repeating thought becomes a negative pattern. Repeating thought will become a belief system. So if you keep playing the same thing over and over again in your head, that negative pattern thinking, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I can't do it, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve success, it's going to play out into every single decision you make in your life. Because the belief system is what, I'm looking for the word. It's just, know how you have that word in your head and you can't find it? Influences, there it is. The belief system is what influences every other decision that you make. Whether it's the coffee you pick up, or the clothes you put on, or a big life decision of changing jobs, etc. Your belief system is the background and controls every single behavior that you make. So if we have a negative thought pattern and belief system in our subconscious, then that's going to impact negatively to every choice that we make along the line. Our thoughts are generated from the childhood conditioning, and how we were parented plays a huge and major role in this. And how we treat ourselves, a lot of that is learned from those who raised us, those who parented us, or those who are around us from those ages 0 to 7. 95% of our belief patterns and perceptions of self-worth are made in those years, and we still take them on today. So, for example, my mom and myself at this point, because it's a learned behavior, shame. It's a huge, huge wound. It's a core wound for me, and I'm sure it's a core wound for my mom as well, because she has it riddled in her life from her parents and how she was raised. And I took on some of that patterning as well, and I'm working through that right now. So the negative thought about ourselves is where the illness starts to creep in. So we get the thought pattern, we have the condition, and then it infiltrates our whole system. It might create sickness, might create pain, might create chronic disease, fibromyalgia. Our mind is so powerful that it can wreak havoc on our bodies because it wants us to do this work. And then once we have the thinking, and we start to say it over and over again, the belief system, then we start feeling it, right? And those negative thoughts and negative emotions go hand in hand. So if we hold on to a thought of that's a lower frequency than love, then our whole body will start to decline and vibrate at that lower frequency. It all is shaped around love and bringing more love into your light and leading with love and exuding love, because that's one of the highest vibrational frequencies and emotions that we can feel. And when we are not in line with that love, our body's at a declined state where the pain, the negative patterning all comes together. So the lower frequency thoughts, like I said, lead to lower frequency emotions. And it will alert you that your thinking and maybe your feeling is not aligning with the way your higher self perceives you. That higher being, the true self, the one connected to source, connected to the universe, connected and embodying of universal love. When our mind, our emotions aren't aligned with our higher self, we're out of whack. And we're constantly in this state of trying to heal that out of whack and become more balanced and aligned with the true self. So if you allow that emotion to move through you, you'll find that, you'll find that the insight and wisdom will start to come through the higher self, and then the lower vibration emotion will start to move out. So we were taught, or at least I was taught, and I know this is the way for probably a lot of people, hold everything in. Don't let them see you cry. Be a good girl. Be a tough boy. Like, just trudge through. Make it look perfect. Keep succeeding. That's all that matters. What it looks like on the outside is your worth. And that just goes against everything and the whole purpose of this life, to experience and reach that highest self and ultimate unconditional love. So as we do that, we hold all these emotions within, right? Like the fear, the judgment, the doubt, the sadness. Even if it's something small, like you were dropped off to daycare when you were 3 years old, you cried. And you were so scared because your parents left, or whoever took care of you left. And the person who came and take care of you, just because this is our culture, said, it's okay, be a big girl, stop crying. So you try to tough it all together and have this proud self and stop crying and just bottle down the emotion. Well, however many years of this to however old you are now, those emotions have been trapped in your body. They're called samskaras in yoga, and they're still residing there. You never got that release. You never got that lesson. You just bottled it down and pushed it away and pretended that everything was okay. And because of that, over time, we keep doing that, processing over and over time, we get chronic illness, chronic pain, sickness, disease. We don't ever release our emotions when we're taught not to. But the true key is to feel everything. And when you allow the sadness, when you allow the grief, when you allow the anger to pass through you, you learn the lesson and you connect with your higher self even more. So it's truly feeling it, sitting in it, and then letting it go. Now, the way we tap into all those old emotions that we've bottled up so far is through journaling. At least that's how I do it. Lauren works with a shadow work coach, so there's many different ways to do shadow work. She works with a shadow work coach. I do my own personal shadow work through journaling. I've seen huge success for both of us in both ways. So it's just what you are more aligned to and just trusting in your intuition on what calls to you more. But when you do that shadow work, when you tap into the inner system, the inner beliefs, the why you are who you are right now and what traumas, and it doesn't have to be crazy traumas, right? Like that school example is a trauma, or it could be something way more impactful, right? Abuse or doubting behavior, abandonment. Like there's so many different types of trauma in this world. None more powerful than the rest. Just everyone who feels trauma experiences it, that same hurt. I know we start to like angle them off on each other, but trauma is trauma no matter how big or how small. And it's tapping into that journal work or that coaching, if that's your route, and starting to release that. And when we journal, when we release that trauma, that's when we allow the emotions to release, and the negative thinking and negative patterning, once we become aware of it, we can start to rewire it. And then after, like I said, this builds up. If we suppress the emotions and leave them stagnant by resisting waves of emotion to this day, we get physical illness. We create tension in the body. And this tension, this physical illness, this sickness, this disease is a way of your body notifying you that something needs to be healed. Something needs to be worked on. Something is out of balance. Something is not aligned with your higher self. It's a signal to do the work. And we live in this world where there's a drug for everything, right? Like, oh, just take this pill, take that pill, you'll be fine. That does nothing to heal you. It just suppresses everything. The true work, the true healing, and it's so challenging and difficult, is to look within. Figure out why you are the way you are. Why the pain is coming up. Why the disease is coming up. How you are living out of balance. Why the body's inflamed. And generally all stems from trauma from childhood and inner emotional pain that we resist. The physical body isn't meant to hold all this emotional shit, all this baggage. We're supposed to feel it, release it, and let it go. The underlying stress that accumulates year after year, the self-criticism, the doubt, the fear, they program into our cells. It kicks up the adrenaline. It kicks up the hormones in the body. The cholesterol, adrenaline, all these things that spike the blood pressure and then exudes out into the whole nervous system. And all we need to do to prevent that is feel. That's it. When these stressors come into your mind's eye, instead of bogging them down, just sit with it. Take a big breath and sigh it out. I know it makes, or not makes no sense, it makes total sense to me. Maybe because I have personal experience with like healing myself through it, but it's just so against what we were taught, and that's part of the problem. It's this matrix 3D living that we're in, and like I said, we're going to this 5-dimensional world, which isn't a different world. Like we said, it's just a higher vibration, but it's a vibration of love, of light. So we need to unpack all of this stuff now so we can raise the vibration together, because it's going there no matter what. We're going to have to do it no matter what. So why not start now? Again, the conscious mind is this rational reasoning mind, which judges, makes decisions. And the subconscious mind is what automatically carries out every function of your life, especially your heart, your breath, your blood flow. At this point, probably, if you've been driving for a while, driving your car. Have you ever driven your car and then you're like, how did I get here? I don't remember any of it. You're on your way to work? Guilty. And I'm not the best driver, guys. I've been in a lot of accidents, but that's besides the point. I've learned from each and every one. But the subconscious mind is very receptive to suggestions from the conscious mind and follows them without question. Granted, the whole bulk of it is from that programming of when we were younger, but we can still start patterning now. So if we keep saying these patterns from the past of I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm not enough, I am not perfect, it's just reiterating the negative thoughts and negative emotions that cause and come out through the body in physical ways. But if we start reprogramming now and we continue life with enhanced feelings of love, of compassion, of gratitude every day, writing in your journal every day what you're grateful for and why, 10 things, and expressing the anger, the sadness, crying, and being okay with it, you'll start to heal a profound amount. So when we're letting go of our negative thoughts, it really comes down to being okay with not being okay and not holding it together. You got to unpack, and you can just express whatever you need to express on that piece of paper. And express whatever you need to express out loud in an empty room. And cry when you need to cry. And your healing journey will exponentially increase. Go take it from here to here. But we have to deal with how we were brought up, our conditions of our past, and our childhood trauma. So I really suggest that you guys do the work that goes into this, and the shadow work, as well as the meditations that allow us to release these negative thoughts. So for an example, like my conditioned patterns of the past, or not the past, of now to this day, but from when I was younger, it's like perfectionism and making other people happy. Like I thought I had to be perfect in order to receive love. And when I did good things and I got good grades and I excelled in sports and got awards, that's when I would receive love and recognition. So I thought that's what I had to do to continue to get love. Be perfect. Be a good person. Don't speak out of line. Be a good girl, right? Hold it all together. And it wasn't obviously until I started doing this work where I realized, yes, it's great to be a good person, but not out of fear. You be a good person out of love because you love everyone and you want to share that love. You don't have to be perfect to receive love. You're loved just as you are, unconditionally. You're amazing. You're a universe within inside itself, and truly starting to believe that. So looking back to your past, how you were raised, family, what were the dynamics like, where do you still feel hurt in your heart, and fear and doubt and worry? And just put a piece of pen to paper and go for it. So, journal question for today is going to be unpacking your past. So I want you, and it could just be one thing about parents, grandparents, siblings, an event in your life that caused trauma, and maybe created a belief system that you still carry to this day. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Take that. Or you can take 10 minutes. You can take as long as you want. I'm going to pause the video. Or pause the video. Oh my gosh. You guys pause the video. Take as much time as you need. Recommended 5 to 10 minutes. If you don't know what to write, just start to write. Whatever comes out is amazing. And come back when you're ready. All right, guys. So I hope you had a little relief there, maybe a little eye-opening experience. Let's talk a little bit of our meditation practice for today. So we're going to do a little breath work as well as meditation this month. And it's going to be focused on letting go of those negative thoughts and really embodying this idea of love. Like I said, it all comes down to love. And it sounds so simple. It sounds so like, mushy, like, oh, this is what it's all about, but it is. And I've had that reaction at first too, but once you start really living in this light, in this 5D dimension, it's all that exudes outside you, and every day is amazing, even if something bad happens, because we know lovingly that experience was supposed to happen for us to grow, to learn, and to progress our ascension. Okay? It's key. It's once you start having that mindset, everything starts to click. But we're going to do a little breath work here, or in the next video. I'm going to put the breath work and the meditation together so you can always go back and just easily click on it. But we're just going to be doing a little clearing in our breath. So we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth to start. We're going to extend the exhale to balance the body. And with each exhale, I really want you to truly ease the tension in the body and let go. Release the shit that doesn't serve you. And it's that mere intention that will change everything. Then we're going to come into a little alternate nose breathing. We inhale left, close left, exhale right. Inhale right, close right, exhale left. With the index finger, the ring finger and the thumb. That's what we close with. This balances our masculine and feminine energies. So we all have that masculine and feminine side. And some sway more one direction or the other, again, based on how we were conditioned, how we were brought up. But we need both to balance. And as we balance the sides, that's when we find this nice Sushumna meditative state. It's where the Kundalini can rise up to the crown because there's no blockages in either Ida or Apita, which is energy centers. And then we're going to take it into a visualization meditation. So get comfortable, and when you're ready, get the next video going.